We have a list of frequently asked questions that you guys have asked us, and I'm gonna run through those and answer these really quick. How often should I have my ductwork cleaned? There's no standard for cleaning it. There's just an inspection standard. So for a home, every year, the air handler unit should get inspected, and then every 2 years, the supply ductwork and the return ductwork. So every 2 years, we come do an inspection on the ductwork. If it needs cleaned, we tell you it needs cleaned. If it doesn't need cleaned, we tell you it doesn't. Let's do another inspection 2 years after that. But generally it is 5 to 10 years is kind of when we see people needing it. How to know if my duct needs cleaned, which we have this in other videos, but basically we're trying to match up the environment of the house to what's in the duct. So if the house is really clean and the ductwork's really clean, we don't think the ductwork needs clean. If the house is really clean, but the ductwork's really dirty, then we would say, okay, to match that up to the house, let's clean the ductwork. Or vice versa. If we're in a really, really dirty house, but the ductwork's pretty clean, we're gonna say, hey, clean your house, not your ducts. Will duct cleaning reduce my energy bill? Okay, this is a great one. Not likely, but sealing the joints of the ductwork will, and balancing the system will. Coil cleaning is inside of the air handler unit, so I'm not gonna say duct cleaning for that, but normally ducts don't get dirty enough or enough buildup where they're actually like blocking the airflow from coming through. But coils do get impacted, and that will cause airflow issues, and that will definitely raise the usage of that unit and have, higher energy bills. So coil cleaning will definitely help. And then sealing the joints, the average duct system has about a 40% leakage rate. So imagine going to the gas station and spending money to buy $10 of gas, but you only get 6 gallons, or 10 gallons of gas, but you only get 6 gallons. That's what happens to the airflow pretty much every time you turn it on. The joints where the ductwork connects, they all leak. And unless they're sealed, they are gonna leak, and the average home has about 40% leakage. So sealing those up will make the biggest difference, and then coil cleaning after that. But ductwork cleaning really doesn't do much because they don't really get that dirty where they're like blocked. Will the house get dirty during the process? It shouldn't. If the house gets dirtier during the duct cleaning, then that means you didn't have enough negative airflow set up on the duct system, so that as you're doing the mechanical agitation process, which is just like sweeping and stirring the dust and stuff up, that means instead of it getting sucked down the ductwork and into that vacuum, it came out. So if you do the NAGCA process properly, the house will not get dirtier during the cleaning. It should not. If that does happen, somebody messed up. And we've definitely messed up on a couple jobs where that's happened, but we are really good about avoiding that these days. 13 years into that, we've obviously made our mistakes, but we are really good about it. The next one is, what about mold? Well, if the mold inside the ductwork is on a non-porous surface, the NAGCA source removal process will take care of it. If it's on a porous surface, then we do a cleaning and then an encapsulation process. Or if the mold is too bad, or the material that the mold is on is too damaged, we can't do the encapsulation, that's when we'll have to remove and replace that, whether it's insulation, ductboard, whatever it may be. Do I need to leave during the cleaning process? No, you do not. Now, it is a very loud process. The vacuums, the big vacuums are like the size of a couch. They're huge, they're loud, they make a ton of noise. And then we go to every single vent multiple times over and over and over, so we're all over. So you're not gonna be in our way, but we might be in your way. And the house stays like healthy clean during it, but it's messy in the sense that we have equipment and tools and stuff everywhere. So it's not gonna be your normal living conditions. It's also gonna be loud. And then as well, the air is gonna be off. So it's really hot outside. The house maybe is gonna go from 70 up to 80 that day while we have the air off for 7 hours, or if it's really cold, vice versa. Do I need sanitizers or chemicals? So sanitizers is like a buzzword in the industry. Most duct cleaning companies do not charge enough money to do a duct cleaning properly according to the NAGCA standard. So then at the end of the job, they're like, hey, for an extra $200, we can do a sanitizer in your ductwork and sanitize it really quick and make an extra 200 bucks. And it takes them like 10 minutes to do this, and they don't do it right, because if you read the bottle of that sanitizer, to properly sanitize, you probably have to keep the surface wet with that sanitizer for 10 or 15 minutes and then do a wipe process on it. All the duct cleaning companies are gonna do with sanitizing is just take a fogger and like you have this little knob and you spray this mist into the duct, and then the vacuum pulls it through. And You literally do it for like 30 seconds at each vent, go to the next vent. You're not keeping the surface wet for 10 minutes, and there's no way to verify, even if you stood there and held it for 10 minutes, there's no way to verify that down the duct stream was sanitized and stayed wet for 10 minutes. So it's really a buzzword, and it's a lot harder process to do it right than people think. They think they can just spray the mist and that's a sanitizer. It's really not. People just use it to make extra money at the end of a duct cleaning job because they didn't charge enough originally. You don't need it most of the time. In rare cases where you do, like I said, it's very hard to apply and it's a lot more expensive than $200. And then for chemicals, we do use chemicals to clean the unit, like the blower wheel, the coil, all that. They're all EPA approved for that. And then as for like a mold killer or anything like that, there's no EPA mold killer, which would be a biocide that's approved for ductwork or HVAC systems. There is a biostat that is approved, which is a mold inhibitor. So it doesn't like kill mold and get rid of it, but it helps prevent, and it doesn't completely prevent, it helps prevent new mold growth from happening. So we have biostats that are approved by the EPA for in ductwork in units, but no biocides.